Well, hi, and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I was going to say welcome back. I don't know if you were here the last time, so if you were, it's a welcome back. But I'm so glad that you've joined us today for this segment. My name is Pete Connor. I'm the guest host for Owatonna Today. And we're going to have a good show of our public. This is kind of easy. I like this one. This is about our city government. And as many of you well know, I had a couple of days of service with Owatonna City Government. But anyway, sure do want to remind you that Owatonna Today can be seen multiple times on Monday through Saturdays on Charter Channel 181, as well as you can find the show on your internet, as well as on YouTube channel, Owatonna Today, Facebook, and the thirdhandvideo.com. Like us on Facebook, and you'll receive a direct link to each new show on your Facebook page. And as well, and why we would leave Twitter out of the organization, I don't know, but you can see Owatonna Today at Owatonna Today on Twitter. Owatonna Today always welcomes your comments about the show and your ideas for show topics and guests. You can contact Owatonna Today via email at owatonnatoday@charter.net or by calling the show's producer, Leanne Alt, at 390-5751. We've got a good show for you today. And first up, we're going to have Kris Busse, our city administrator, and Kyle Skov, who is our Public Works Director. But first, we're going to have a couple of announcements from our valued sponsors.
I'm Dan Branstead of Carlson Branstead & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We support the Owatonna Today Show.
Owatonna Public Utilities, real people, real reliable, real progress. Making life a little easier day after day, taking pride in our community, listening to what you say, a voice you can talk to. We're growing with you in mind in everything we do. Owatonna Public Utilities.
Greetings from the Steele County Historical Society. We invite you to visit us and enjoy your county's history at the History Center and Village of Yesteryear. For current exhibits and events, check our website, www.steelehistorymuseum.org.
Well, today we have Kris Busse, our city administrator, and Kyle Skov, our Public Works Director. And Public Works is kind of a, maybe a recent term for this particular position. In the day when yours truly was sitting in the chair, we typically just called our city engineer the city engineer. But our Public Works Director, Kyle, has got a few more responsibilities than just doing some design work on streets and curbs and gutters and infrastructure. What's up with the title?
Well, Public Works includes, as you mentioned, the streets around town, but it also includes the underground utilities of sanitary sewer, storm sewer, and then wastewater treatment facility and the engineering department. So I have those three departments that I
and
work
then
with.
As well, you've got all of the red or the orange trucks that roll around and the tree trimming and all of those things, that the patching that goes on come springtime. Hopefully, we'll see some pothole repair and such as that. But more importantly, today we're going to talk a little bit about some of the major projects that are going to be coming up in year 2015 and what folks can expect to see there, because it may have some impact on travel. Kris, you've been around now for, jeepers, must be 6-7 years?
7 years in December.
Yeah. And you've come from the west, and it seems as if we are a magnet for Wasicans and for Albert Leans, because Kyle came from Albert Lee, and of course we have some other folks in our various shops from both Waseca and so just briefly, your umbrella is, as administrator, covers how much?
It covers pretty much everything else. It's the day-to-day operations. I report to the mayor and council, of course, and we make sure that we're carrying out their mission, vision, goals that they've set for us. Recently, we've begun strategic planning, and so we have a 3-year strategic plan and also a longer view to our strategic plan, and that really sets sets the course for myself and our department heads to carry out and accomplish the vision of the council.
Right. And are you having someone help you with that? In the
Yes.
past, we used to have, a consultant or someone who was
Facilitate.
a facilitator, yeah. Who's
Yeah.
going to help you with that this time?
Well, we're very fortunate. The last 2 times we've used Mark Fritsch. He's the OPU general manager.
Oh, okay.
He was, prior to that, he was a consultant and in this area, and so he has been just a great help for us
Good.
in facilitation. So.
Right. Should mention when Kris mentions utilities, public utilities, that even though it is a city function, it really operates, if folks don't know, operates under its own masthead, if you will. It's a city. It's not a department of the city. It does not come under the control of the administrator, but nonetheless is certainly a very important part of what we have as essential responsibilities for our citizens. And as Kyle mentioned, the infrastructure of storm sewer and water, or storm sewer and sanitary sewer, along with curb and gutter and roadway. In that same piece of ground will be found the water utility, which of course comes under the purview of Owatonna Public Utilities. But there is, certainly synergy there, and I know that there's an awful lot of support that comes and goes both from so-called city to the utilities.
Right,
But,
and as you know, under the charter, the city owns the utility,
Right.
But the charter provides for a separate appointed board, appointed by the mayor and council. So that's kind of how we're
Right.
together.
Exactly. And we've seen fit to keep the utilities intact as a part of our whole process of governing in our city. Didn't come to talk about that, and you didn't need to have a history lesson from yours truly, but it's kind of fun to reflect on that. But today we're going to talk about strategic planning, and we're going to talk about some of the public service things or public works things that are going to be happening. Talk a bit about strategic planning again, if you want, a
Sure.
little bit more depth.
Well, I think it's a critical piece of what we do as a staff with the elected officials, is to make sure that we're taking care of the most important things for the community, that we're having a longer term view as well, that we're trying that we take advantage of opportunities that come along that fit with both our 3-year and our longer term vision. And one of the our key focus areas for our 3-year strategic plan include infrastructure, economic vitality, which, business development, community development, quality of life, that's everything from park and rec, library, all of those trails, all of those things that come under quality of life. And residential redevelopment is a particular focus on this 3-year plan. And infrastructure is kind of one of the main, is a key area for the city. And in this budget, this 2015 budget, we were able to come up with another $229,000 to apply towards infrastructure. We were up, prior to that, we were on like a 50-year maintenance cycle for our streets, which, is certainly not acceptable for our community or for our council. And so with this additional monies, we were able to shorten that to a more manageable, livable 12-year cycle. And so, I know Kyle, he is a typical engineer, and he wants to spend as much as he can on streets, and there's never enough money, but, we do have certain parameters that we have to work within. But, with this additional monies, I think it's going to be a great start to, a more manageable, reliable funding source for our street maintenance.
Sure. So we talk about essential functions, and we talk about local government, and obviously the infrastructure issues are a part of essential functions, and maybe in our case, an essential function such as park and rec is maybe thought more highly here in Owatonna than it might be elsewhere. We view that term essential functions in varying ways depending upon where we come. Kyle, talk about some of the things that we can expect to see come thaw time, I suppose, is when we're going to. But you've already been working on it, really. I mean, you've got your people have already been designing and getting things ready to go.
And a few of the projects we've been working on for several years. There's 2 larger reconstruction projects this year that have actually been worked on for several years. Lamont Road from Selby Avenue to Kim Lane It's about 1,500 feet of rural road now that'll be converted to curb and gutter with a sidewalk, a larger than normal trail sidewalk on the northwest side. So that's a project that's been around for quite a while. Mineral Springs Parkway, from Mineral Springs Road down to Cherry Street through Mineral Springs Park. Also a rural section road that's going to be converted to curb and gutter with a trail. Both projects are advertised for bids right now. We'll be getting bids in next week, and hopefully the council will be approving those on the 17th of March. And then we've also got quite a bit of pavement work around town. We're going to be working on Lincoln Avenue, Austin Road, and Havana Road on some stretches of street that needs some improvement, and be doing an overlay up on 20th Street Northeast. So we've got a busy year planned.
Busy year, yeah. And I suppose weather always plays a part in terms of how you're going to accomplish this stuff on a timely basis, and that, you know, it's an interesting thing too. The Lamont Road project is interesting. You're going to go to Kim Lane, and I ride, you know, my bicycle, and was very active on that. The piece from Kim Lane onto the interstate bridge is about as bad as it can be. Why isn't that being a part of the project?
Well, we had some challenges out there, and then the project as a whole got really large. It was close to a $2 million project. So for financing reasons and staffing reasons, we decided to break it up into smaller projects.
So it's not to say that that's not going to be taken care of, it just won't be done this year.
And with the highway construction on I-35, we didn't want to have, they're going to be working on Hoffman Drive this year, and if we were working on Lamond within town, that would take out 2 of our crossings. There's about 5 total, but that would have put a lot of pressure on the Bridge Street crossing of I-35.
And to say nothing of public safety, when we start thinking of that, you know, we have red trucks that maybe need to get across, or ambulances and such, squad cars. So that's
So we didn't want 2 of the 3 main crossings to be blocked the same year.
So when we talk, one last comment about the that project or any of the projects is that, you know, it seems to me, and I'm happy to think about it in this way, because we're starting to consider bike ped options as well. You know, that in the construction we're putting in facility for people who like to walk or run, or in our case, yours, I know you're a cyclist and as I am, you know, a place for us to ride if we choose to ride on that trail, is that we're putting those in as a part of the whole project, which I think is a good thing. And
we always look at the pedestrian improvements for ADA, Americans with Disability Act, whenever we do a project. So.
Excellent. I wish we had more time to talk about some of the things that are going on, maybe in conjunction with the county and the state. You know, I think at 26th Street is an example with the hearings that have been going on. Kris, any last comments about some things that people should be mindful of as we come on to construction season?
Well, you know, to be very careful, and to know that if your street's being worked on, that you're going to have regular communications with the contractor. And typically what we do is printed notices if you can, if there's any impact to you getting into your driveway or onto the street. So we try and let you know as much as we can. Excellent.
That's well taken, and we'll look forward to that. Thank you, Kris and Kyle, for being with us. And we'll be back after some messages, and thanks for watching.
The 22nd Annual Benefit Concert for the Steele County Food Shelf, Friday, March 6th at 7 p.m., Saturday, March 7th at 3 and 7 p.m., and Sunday, March 8th at 2 p.m. at the Owatonna Little Theater. The 22nd Annual Hometown Sampler Concert will help raise awareness, funds, and food needed to keep the shelves at the Steele County Food Shelf stocked. Admission will be by free will offering of money or food. Find out more at steelecountyfoodshelf.org.
The majority of fatal home fires happen at night when people are sleeping. Smoke alarms give you time to escape. We recommend that you have a smoke alarm in every sleeping room of the house and on every floor in the common living areas. Smoke alarms should be tested monthly, and batteries should be replaced at least once a year. This is a safety tip from the Owatonna Fire Department.
Hi, I'm Glenn Mager.
And I'm Tim Thomas of the Brick Mager Funeral Home, and we're proud to serve the Medford and Owatonna areas with cremation and traditional funeral services.
And we're proud to be a part of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hi, this is Barry Gillespie, president of ERA Gillespie Real Estate, where our pledge is to save you money, save you time, and simplify your life. And we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Hello, I'm David Einhaus with the Owatonna Foundation. Thank you to all of our donors who have helped make Owatonna a better place to live. Will you join us today with a financial gift? Owatonna Foundation is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Well, hello and welcome to the Owatonna Today Show. I am Pete Connor. I am the guest host for this segment, and I'm happy to be with you. I'm a retread in a way. I've done this before. So I hope that we are able to get through this without yours truly doing a lot of the talking. Some of you know me too well to know that. And I have our guest who happens to be Stormy Trom from Steele County Food Shelf, and we'll talk with Stormy about this month being Food Shelf Month. But before that, I do want you to know that Owatonna Today can be seen on multiple.
No, just go ahead and start interviewing Stormy.
Just do the interview with all of that.
We already
Okay,
did that
the chatter, we've already done that. Okay, so well. Anyway, Stormy, welcome.
Thank you.
And, it's good to have you here and to talk about always something current, I think, going on at the food shelf, and maybe some of the current things are not as nice to talk about as we'd like to think. I've always felt that it'd be nice not to have a food shelf.
Well, that was our goal when we started this. Actually, the food shelf, just for what in the beginning years, we were working out of church pantries. And it got to grow beyond the churches, and they weren't able to handle it. So then they all came together and formed what now as a Steele County Food Shelf. And so far, with their support, community support, businesses, United Way, we've been able to meet the need of the families living in Steele County.
How many years, since that time, since the churches relinquished that, and it was because of need. A parallel notion is that the homeless thing that I get involved with, have been involved in, involved in, is that was always a church thing too. Is that vouchers would come and people. Now there's more of a consolidation, more of a concerted effort on that, which is what you're talking about. How long has this been going on this way?
For the Steele County Food
Yes.
Shelf, we're older than. I think it started back in 1978. The actual, first beginnings is when it was in a church. I've been with the food shelf now going on 21 years. So there were people ahead of me as well. So we've been around for a while. We've also over those years seen the need grow. But then so has the population.
Right.
But now we're seeing, anywhere between 550, 600 families monthly that use our services. And all of those families that we serve are living in 200% of poverty. So, and when you look at the numbers at the school, how many of the children now qualify for the free and reduced lunch program, it works out to be pretty close to the population that we serve as well.
Right. And so to think about this in terms of replication, we're talking Steele County, which includes, of course, the cities of Blooming, Ellendale, and Medford, along with the rural neighbors. But then, go to Dodge, go to Busse, go to Rice, and it's another. There's another one and another one and another one doing basically the same thing. Probably finding statistically some of the same things that you're finding here.
Yes, we have 300 plus food shelves across the state of Minnesota.
Yeah.
And so that's why this month we are having Minnesota Food Share Month. It's to help restock all those food pantries across the state. And the people up in the cities area used to have an organization that's called Minnesota Food Share. It's a coalition of churches and some businesses that collect money and donations from large corporations that we don't have in our area. But they take all the money that they do collect and they have a campaign allotment for however well we do in our own communities. So during March, it's a really great time to give, to make your donations if you'd like, because we get matching dollars during the month of March. So
good. So the campaign per se is really not only for food product, but it's also for cash.
well, cash is really important. A lot of the product that we do put on our shelves, I purchased that. We have a dietitian and a nutrition committee that we're not only interested in putting out whatever food we can get, but a nutritionally balanced package. So we've moved away from just the soup cans and canned non-perishables to we have freezers and refrigeration, and the emphasis now is really to get more fresh produce, and we're getting that now too from some of the local grocery stores as Walmart. We go out there 3 days a week, Cash-Wise Food. 2 days a week they donate to us. Hy-Vee and Fairway Foods as well are all trying to help us out.
And you would think, just thinking of those organizations, what would they do with that food if it had gone past the time? Where would it go?
Right.
It would go into.
It had for years gone into the dumpsters, but I want everyone to know that we're not bringing in product like that. This is close to sell-by date, and we also have a huge learning curve on what the numbers on the cans are saying. If it says expiration, that was more for a code for the stores to look at than it was for the consumers, but it's gone that way. So the product's still good.
Still good stuff.
Yes.
It has to be. And the people who come are qualified to be recipients.
Yes.
And they need to go through a qualification process through the food shelf.
Right. We try to just keep our service area to Steele County. That is what it says in our bylaws, and that's what we agreed to at our state level when we got our 501c3. So anyway, there's food shelves, in Waseca and Dodge Center and across the state. So yes, the dollars that are given at Steele County will be used in Steele County.
Okay, good. What cooperation is there in your building? I know is that we also have the Steele County clothesline. So I'm suspecting that at least the client base is probably coming to both places.
Right.
And we're not here to talk about the clothesline per se, but obviously basic needs. If one were to go back, those of us that have studied Maslow, and we talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and knowing that basic needs are absolutely essential before anyone can go up the pyramid to the top. The fact is that we have a variety of support systems in place to help people who are in need.
Right.
Let me ask you this: how systemic are some of your clients? In other words, do you see some people for multiple periods of time, like maybe over years? Or then I would imagine there are some that are there for a temporary time until they get back up on their feet, so to say, and maybe occupationally get something that helps to provide for them.
All right. There is no one circumstance that people come to us. There's a variety. People living on fixed incomes. A lot of those folks are getting about $16 worth of food stamps. Those would be our elderly population. And those on Social Security. We have people who are challenged physically, mentally. We see them quite regularly. But I want to let everyone know that over the years while I've been there, I haven't seen a lot of abuse. We know that in every system there is some, but overall we're giving out food. So I don't see that, if it's up to the individual and they think that's their need, we're happy to be there to help people.
The great value of charity, it's one of the tenets pretty much of, I think I'd say, most people's existence, that charity is right in there. And, and this time, from a religious perspective, a lot of people in town are observing the religious season of Lent, and this is kind of a time for for that. Maybe that's part of the focus, why the focus is the way that it is for the food shelf. Do want to bring up also a major fundraiser that you're always a part of, and that's the Hometown Sampler. And these posters are around town everywhere, and of course the event will be held in this building. And
the Owatonna Little Theater.
Little Theater.
Starting on Friday night. We have a performance at 7 o'clock, and on Saturday we have two, one at 2, and the other one's at 7, or is it 3 and 7?
Yep.
And then we have a Sunday matinee for those who would like to come out on Sunday.
Well, everyone will be encouraged to do that. Well, time has run out, but it's been a good time, and I hope that you've gotten some of your messages across that you wanted to. Thanks for being here.
All right.
And I hope you have a good food share and a good food shelf month.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. We'll be back for some closing remarks.
This March, as part of Minnesota Food Share Month, the Steele County Food Shelf hopes to raise $100,000 in cash or pounds of food. Minnesota Food Share contributes additional money based on our local donations. In 2014, 3,616 individuals living in Steele County registered at the food shelf. By the end of 2014, the food shelf gave out 551,000 pounds of food. The Steele County Food Shelf looks forward to your generosity again this year. With your support, we are able to provide a resource in Steele County for our neighbors in need. No one in Steele County should have to go to bed hungry.
Hi, I'm Amy Martinez.
And I'm Adam Martinez, owners of Snap Fitness in Owatonna.
Snap Fitness is a fast, convenient, and affordable fitness center, and we're proud supporters of the Owatonna Today Show.
Amy Swain Hearing Centers is a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show. I'm Dr. Amy Swain, and I want everyone to hear better.
Hello, I'm Sean McNulty. And I'm Deb Gillard with Brookdale Senior Living, Sterling House, and Clarebridge of Owatonna. And we are a proud sponsor of the Owatonna Today Show.
Well, welcome back. It's been my pleasure to be with you to host Owatonna Today, and I hope that the information you've gotten has been good for you and informative. A couple of announcements before we do close. I might mention that next week Mike Jensen will be your guest host, so please welcome him as he has a lineup of special guests as well. We would like to mention that the Owatonna Hospital is hosting an open house event to showcase the Penny George Institute for Health and Healing at Owatonna Hospital, our new integrative therapy outpatient clinic. The event will take place on Tuesday, March 10th from 3 to 5:30 p.m. in the Owatonna Hospital's Vision Conference Room, number 1489. And also, the Steele County Humane Society's event, which is coming up on the 12th of March at 4 o'clock at the Eagles in Owatonna. It's a Pancakes for Pets and silent auction. Please keep tuned to that one and enjoy some good pancakes from the Eagles and an opportunity to participate in that silent auction. Well, once again, thank you for allowing me to be in your home, and best wishes. We'll catch up again.